Anna?
Jacob, hi.
Let's go. Where do you want to go?
Tell me everything that happened.
Hello, welcome to What the Flick, everybody. I'm Matt Atchity, editor-in-chief of Rotten Tomatoes. To my left, the lovely Christy Lemire of AP and Ebert Presents at the movies. And to my other left, the also lovely Alonso Duralde of The Wrap and the Linoleum Knife podcast. We're here today to talk about Like Crazy.
Like Crazy. This movie annoyed the crap out of me. Everyone else really loves it. It was a big winner at Sundance. It's about this guy and this girl, and they fall in love. Soft, sweet, supple love. And they start making scrapbooks and furniture for each other. But the problem is that he's American and she is British. And she overstays her visa because she's stupid and selfish, and consequences ensue.
Jacob, I'm gonna stay.
You can't do that.
Why?
Your visa.
This is what's going to happen. You'll be placed on the plane immediately and returned back to the UK.
So, you've seen what we've dealt with. Now, you mentioned that this won the big award at Sundance.
The big dramatic grand jury prize at Sundance, and also she won an award. Felicity Jones won for Best Actress.
Right, and if we were all on this jury, that movie wouldn't have won anything.
No.
Yeah, this movie is really annoying because like people make these decisions that are supposed to be so tragic, and yet they're so needless, and it makes it impossible to root for them because either she's just stupid and didn't realize the consequence of staying in the U.S. all that summer to roll around in bed with Anton Yelchin, or she's just selfish and doesn't care. Either way, how do you root for these idiots to get together?
Right, so the story is she's a exchange, or not exchange student, she's a student, she's here on a student visa from England and decides to stay and overstay her visa. And
she could have gone back for like 12 weeks and then returned to the US. They make that clear. So like 3 months, that's it. But no, even that is too much.
And then rather than stay in the States, because she's already here, she goes back to England for a wedding. And then, oh no, I can't get back in the States.
Yeah.
Oh, what am I going to do?
But then the fact that they're apart actually is a good thing. I like them better when they're apart.
Yeah.
And they have all these like tense phone calls and like terse text messaging sequences and miscommunication, start dating other people. I like Anton Yelchin dating Jennifer Lawrence.
Yes,
as soon as she shows up, it's like, movie's over.
I know, exactly.
You can date Jennifer Lawrence
Felicity
now.
who? Yeah, totally. No, and they have a real great chemistry. Here's the thing about this movie, because people who love it are annoyed at people like us who hate it.
Cynics,
and
cold-hearted cynics.
I can't figure out what the right read of this movie is, because these characters are so moronic and short-sighted and selfish that it's like, okay, so assuming that that's all intentional and we're not supposed to let's say for the sake of argument that we aren't supposed to be rooting for them.
Okay.
What are we supposed to be doing? What are we? Why are we watching their story?
Is it
Why should we care?
catharsis?
I was feeling like I must be too cynical because as soon I came into that movie and as I was watching the movie, I felt as soon as she overstays the visa and as soon as they don't let her in, I'm like, tough shit, honey.
Yeah, you
Tough shit.
You brought it on yourself.
Plus, they're young. It's like, you'll date other people. You learn from this, move on.
And the other thing is, like, okay, if you guys are really that much in love, then Yelchin needs to fucking go to London, right? Like, oh no, my business is here, but like,
I can't make furniture in London.
Again,
like nobody needs furniture in London.
I can't even see this movie through the eyes of people who loved it. And I mean, is the point that they're young and foolish, but they're in love, and that's what young love is like? I don't know. I just found it all so irritating. I can't even, because you'll disagree with somebody on a movie, like, okay, well, I see why you liked it or what you got out of it. I have no idea why people like this movie.
They have a bit of chemistry in the beginning, I will say, when they are first sort of blissfully in love, and it's shot in this very gauzy, romantic way.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. See, they do their first date, and then he's leaving, and then he turns around, he's looking at her through the glass door, and he puts his finger up, and she puts her finger up, and they're doing this. I'm like, oh, please. I found this movie to be so pretentious. It was like such a collection of indie love story cliches, and I just couldn't stand it.
Yeah, I was annoyed too.
It was really irritating. Yeah, like there's no music, and then like the music comes in, and it's supposed to make you feel something, and I'm just like, oh,
the music made me feel way more than anything else in this movie. Like I was responding to the music when I was just rolling my eyes at the actual dialogue.
The other thing that bugged me too is that he's supposed to be this furniture designer, and he designs this chair for her.
Right.
He gives her this chair, so that she can sit on it and write, and that becomes kind of a big deal. And then you never see anything else he ever makes in the whole fucking movie, except for that same goddamn chair.
He makes that same chair over and over again. You're right.
Like,
in his little
I'm like, you know what, buddy?
industrial loft space.
Right, you know what, buddy? You can leave L.A. Your whole business is okay. It's going to be
true.
fine.
You can make that chair anywhere.
Yeah.
Not Charles Eames.
Right,
Sorry.
exactly. Like,
All right, baffling. Let's do numbers. Let's further destroy this movie with numerical values. Go ahead.
I will be generous because for the performances and the cinematography and the music, I'll give it a 3.4, but that's it.
I'm giving it a 3 because it's sort of lovely in the beginning, and then it gets increasingly
see, I hated the beginning, I hated the middle, I hated the end. The only thing I liked were her parents and Alex Kingston. I'm a big fan.
She was great.
I love her on Doctor Who as River Song. I'm a big fan. So, and there was
Croupier.
the only Croupier is great.
Where's she been?
She gets naked in Croupier. That's a good thing. Sure. The only scene I liked in this whole movie was the scene where Felicity Jones' British boyfriend proposes.
Oh,
and there's the pause,
the
and
awkward.
her father, who's sitting there in front, her parents are sitting there, and her father's like, "All right, honey, time to go." That was awesome.
Look at the time.
But that was it, and so I give it a 2.
A 2.
Ouch.
Okay, so we're really low on this. We're giving it a 2.8 average here, but it's really, really high.
75% of the
Yeah,
tomato
apparently
meter. I
we
don't know
are
what the
terrible
hell.
people because other folks adore this movie, and
Right.
we're just too black-hearted to get it.
None of us are in love
Right.
or married.
Right.
We don't get it.
This movie does not.
What do we know?
This movie does not get the cynic vote.
All right. Enjoy nonetheless. Bye-bye.
Hello, welcome to What the Flick, everybody. I'm Matt Atchity.
Yeah, you are.
Can we start that again?
I wanted to keep that take. I like that
Oh
one.
well.